I'm hearing more and more in my talks and in my interactions with people this whole idea of control. And it's invariably making me think about how controlling I can be in my life and how impatient that I can be, and how that causes so much complication and so much stress in our lives. And recently I've been slowly but surely finding that I'm not as controlling as I used to be, and I'm kind of more resigned to allowing life to do whatever it needs. And although I said the word resigned, it's actually quite an empowering place to be, because I'm finding that there was a time where I was very, very controlling, wanting everything to be completely right. And it was invariably because I was out of control and I was quite unconscious as to what I was and who I was. And it led to this place of trying to just get everything right. And when we don't get everything right, it creates more stress and more agitation in our lives. And sometimes we want to get away from that stress and that agitation by controlling even more, in order to help us feel some sort of security, feel some sort of safety. And true safety and true security is found in letting go. And it's whether we can put down those complications and whether we can really just inquire as to why we have chosen to really be, really try and control, what is the insecurity that's making us do that. And like I said, it tends to be because of the fact that we're so out of control and we don't have the security that we crave in our lives. So a real life example of that is my work is changing at this moment in time, and I'm finding that the ideas that I have are some ideas are being let go of and some ideas are forming. And my old nature would have been to try to really control that process in order to give myself a feeling of accomplishment or a feeling of security. And I'm finding that things don't flow as much as they used to do. There's probably a bit more jaggedness. I was thinking about the fact that when I record a YouTube video, it probably isn't as flowing as when I'm doing a live stream. And I thought, why is that? Why is it that I put myself probably under a lot more pressure recording these videos than doing a live stream in front of a group of people or doing a live talk? And rather than try to understand that, which is what I would have tried to do today, or try to control the outcome or try to make something happen, I'm allowing myself to really just, not even allowing myself, I'm just diving into that confusion and being okay with that transition. And what I'm finding is that transition is showing me more and more about myself, and I'm realizing that life is giving me so much more, which is quite interesting, because once upon a time I was really into reinforcing the idea of me and trying to control everything and make sure that everything was its nice place, because I wanted people to be a certain way, or I wanted them to have the same values as me. And when they didn't, or when they refused to comply, obviously I would throw my toys out the pram and get quite angry about it. And I've realized that it has really just cost me as opposed to them. And it's also it's cost me some really great relationships and real great friendships. Whereas recently I'm finding this idea of control is being slowly but surely put down. It's allowing more insight to come into my life. It's allowing letting go to occur much more deeply. It's bringing into my life a better set of people, and my relationships are getting better. My understanding of this reality is deepening, which consequently is showing me how redundant this whole idea of control is. And in diving into that reality of who I am, I'm realizing that sometimes I'm not going to get everything perfect, and I'm not going to get that perfect scenario. And consequently, it's making me want to work towards something better, like a better life or what have you. And it's also allowing me to appreciate that sometimes I really don't know what's going to happen or what needs to happen. And I'm enjoying this process of this transitioning in which this idea of control is dying, and it's being replaced with this idea of trusting. And that can be very, very uncomfortable. And our conditioned responses are such that we just want to go back to our control because we believe it's given us safety and security. And when life starts breaking down and we start seeing that these ideas of control that we had are redundant, there is a tendency to try and control even further, to really tighten that grip. And it's whether we can just slowly but surely start loosening that grip, and slowly and very, very surely just start trusting life that little bit more, that life invariably will always give us more than we actually, wanted or needed when we were trying to control. And invariably it will show us that our preconceived limits aren't real as well, because controlling reinforces this idea of separation, and reinforces, it enforces this whole idea of body mind, and we lose a massive opportunity in seeing who we actually are. We miss so much. And yet when we let go and we just allow our hand to open to life and to lessen that grip that we've got on life, life will dance with us so much more beautifully and show us so much more of what we actually are. And it's something that I see in my rooms where when people come in, there's this real control there's this real wanting to know, there's this need, there's this desperation. And it comes from this place of insecurity. And because there's this insecurity, we try to cover that up. We're trying to be in control by learning all the buzzwords, by learning all the phrases that we need. And invariably, we never hear those because so much energy is going into controlling the outcomes, the situations. I need to become enlightened. And we do ourselves a great disservice, and we put ourselves under a lot of stress. But more importantly, we fail to really hear what's being said. So what you'll see is people coming in year in, year out, hearing the same thing over and over and over and over again. But because of that idea of control, because of that not wanting to let go, they're always in that place of stuckness, and it just increases the frustration and the desperation and the anger and the impatience, and consequently that leads them to seek for more, for longer than they need to. It makes the journey that much more jagged, and frankly speaking, it's making it hard for themselves. And it's whether we can stop making it hard for ourselves and allow life to take over, allow ourselves to be taken on that journey by life, in which there are so many things that we, at this moment in time, don't know that we're capable of. And being open to discovering that, to live in that space of openness and in that space of discovery. And it can be uncomfortable, but we emerge braver, wiser and stronger people. And we also then find that we have that capacity to go deeper into who we actually are. Our inquiry into the nature of our reality deepens, which consequently makes our life so much more richer and richer for those around us as well. So, if you're finding that you're that kind of person who's trying to control the outcome of something, try and just stop for a little bit and maybe feel that fear or that uncomfortableness as to why your life is structured in that way, why you feel the need to be in control, and just sit with it. As a matter of fact, play with it, almost like in that whole sense of inquiry, and in that whole sense of just asking yourself a question, and allow whatever answers that come up to come up. Take your time with this as well. There's no need to obviously let go of a controlling attitude overnight. I think most controlling people are the ones who are telling you that they've let go of their controlling attitude overnight and they're now letting go, which invariably means that they haven't. And allow yourself to enjoy that understanding, that realization, because I think sometimes because we're so rushing, and I found myself slowing down now more and more, because we're so rushing, we are missing so many insights that are constantly being presented by life to us for us to see who we actually are. So if we slow down and we allow ourselves to feel those uncomfortable feelings, and to also fully feel those insights and that joy and that bliss that comes from allowing something that's held us captive for so long just to leave, we may find that we start seeing more and more of who we actually are. And we will become more trusting of that natural way of being as well. And in turn allow ourselves to really fully express ourselves. Because one of the things I find is when people are living in this place of control, it's literally affecting every aspect of their reality with the way they conduct themselves, their body, their health, their relationships, where they live. And when we let go and let God, we open ourselves up to more in the sense of more deepening in our realization of what we are, of what we're capable of. And then we can live our life, from a place of inspiration as opposed to a place of desperation and stress and agitation and wanting to know what the answers are and wanting to get to that perfect moment. The perfect moment is happening right here and right now. If you would just stop and just allow yourself to open your eyes and actually see that. However, when we're running at 300 miles per hour, we're trying to control things, and we're wanting the outcome to be a certain way. We miss the very miracle that's occurring in our midst right here and right now. So no doubt, obviously, as insights deepen, I will probably revisit this topic. I'm enjoying what's happening now, and I'm really enjoying the fact that I really enjoyed recording this, as opposed to, thanks to that insight of why am I having problems recording YouTube videos but not live streams. So again, allow these insights to come up, because what you'll find is there is wisdom, there is understanding in these insights, and ultimately it always benefits you.